clearly Iranian women are chanting death to dictators, and that scares the regime. That is why they open fire at innocent people. I really want to use the opportunity and show, because to us, they are not just statistics, number, Hannane, Ghazaleh, Irfan, Mona, Minu, and Mahsa. And these are the women peacefully took to the street. They were chanting, "We are all Mahsa, bejang ta bejangim." But they killed them. They killed them.
Hey everybody, Maz Jobrani here. What you were just watching is Mahsa Amini. She is an activist and a journalist, and she was on MSNBC talking about the protests in Iran and how the government of Iran, the Iranian regime, has been killing protesters. It all started when Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old woman, was in the streets of Iran and had her hair sticking out a little bit from the hijab. There's mandatory hijab in Iran, and the authorities, the morality police, they're called, they stopped her, and in the process, they ended up beating her to the point where she ended up going into a coma and then dying. Because of that, people have gone out and protested, and it's led to then the authorities clamping down on the protesters, showing up, killing protesters, all this stuff happening in Iran, the place where I was born, so I know a little bit about it. And Mahsa Amini was talking about some of the people that have died, some of the women that have died in the process, trying to gain their freedoms. Now, the issue is in America, there's so much going on with all of our own politics and issues of inflation and Russia and et cetera, where sometimes a lot of Americans are going, why should I care about what's going on in Iran? Well, here's a TikToker that tells you why.
I was one of the girls that Adam Levine was messaging. It first started after, okay, now that I have your attention, the internet is going to be cut off in Iran. They've already lost access to Instagram. For those unaware, this woman was unalived due to the mandatory hijab laws in Iran. That event caused mass protests. Iran needs your help in sharing this message. There is a risk that the internet will be fully turned off, and that makes it our duty to share this story. And while the Adam Levine drama is very tasty and very fun, please take the time out of your day to also share this one.
So as you saw, this TikToker used her platform to basically bait and switch, talking about Adam Levine and all the women that Adam Levine's been with, which is what Americans want to talk about. But she said there's something more important we need to talk about, which is the Iranian people, the struggle they're going through. And she's right. The struggle of the Iranian people right now is such that the government has shut down the internet. A lot of the news is not getting out. The government is killing Iranians. And the problem is, again, Americans going, well, I have so much else on my mind. Why should I care about what's going on in Iran? The reason is because the women of Iran, the people of Iran, have been struggling and combating the Islamic Republic of Iran for 43 years. This is 43 years ago when the government, the regime, became an Islamic republic. It became an extremist government. It became an autocratic state. And women have suffered under it. LGBTQ have suffered under it. Religious minorities have suffered under it. Young people have suffered. A lot of people have suffered under this current regime. Now, we've seen people protest this regime throughout the 43 years because they want their freedoms. They want to be able to do what any young person anywhere in the world would do. They want to be able to do what any woman in the world would do. They want it to be a choice whether they wear a hijab or not. They want their freedoms. And the reason this all relates back to America is we are in the process right now of seeing America embrace some far-right extremist ideologies and policies. We just saw in America the right of a woman to choose was taken away by a religious minority on the right that had been trying to take it away for 50 years, and they finally took it away. We see it throughout Europe, where we see Italians and Swedes and Hungarians going further to the right and going further autocratic. So basically, the struggle the Iranian people are going through is a struggle towards democracy, while we see our own Western governments moving away from democracy. And that's why Iran is so important, and everyone should be paying attention outside of Iran, because if we don't pay attention, we could end up in the situation that the Iranian people are in right now. And if you don't believe me, listen to this religious pastor and what he thinks the government of America should be.
We're taking over all 7 mountains for the body of Jesus Christ. That includes information technology. Right. That includes as what you all are doing here at KCM television, right? Because all we got is CNN and MSNBC and these people don't love Jesus. And when they give the news, they're creating division, they're creating racism because it sells money. Yeah. But here at Kenneth Copeland Ministries and Flashpoint and Victory News, we get to talk about Jesus Christ and taking over government, because the Bible declares that the government shall rest. Are y'all going to talk back to me? On the shoulders of Jesus. And so we are preparing for the second coming of the Messiah. But we got to get America right. Yeah.
And there you have it. You have a lot of religious folks in America on the right who do believe that there should be a mixture of church and state. And you have people in government who believe there should be a mixture of church and state. Your Marjorie Taylor Greenes, your Lauren Boeberts, your probably Ted Cruz's. A lot of these folks want to bring religion into the state. And when we start doing that, we are screwed. If you don't believe me, take it from an Iranian American who was born in Iran, had to flee Iran because religion took over the state. And that's what we're seeing in Iran right now. I hope everybody pays attention to the struggle of the Iranian people. I hope you tell your friends about it. I hope you retweet about it. You spread the word about it, because the Iranian people don't have a voice right now because they're being locked down. Their internet is locked down. They don't have a way to fight back with the authorities. So they're doing what they can. They're going out in the streets. They're protesting. Women are taking off their hijab in protest and getting beaten for it and even killed for it, as Mahsa Amini said in the beginning of this segment. So again, wake up, wake up, wake up. Support the people of Iran. And in America and in the West, keep your eyes out for the types that are trying to bring religion into our politics, because if we don't pay attention, we're going to live in the handmaid's tale like the people of Iran have had to for the past 43 years.